Oh, hello. Welcome to the Real Bit Wars. I'm Chris, and I'm just catching up on a little bit of reading. Back in December for Christmas, my family actually surprised me with this. It's the comic book story of video games. It's a graphic novel, a documentary, and it's all about video games. So this is right up my alley. And I told them, had I known this existed, I probably would have already bought it. And that's why they said, yeah, that's why we got it for you. So it begs the question, what exactly is a video game and how did they start? You have two basic components, video and game. So this goes over the general history of the development of video and how games followed therein. So you can see like there's stuff here like the development of the oscilloscope. There is stuff about vacuum tubes, televisions, and how people use that to develop video games. So very cool. I actually strongly recommend this. It is a little long-winded at times, but that does not make it bad. It's definitely worth your time. So check this out if you ever get the chance. So another thing I want to do this year, I saw a lot of people did videos of the games that they beat for the first time in 2020. And I thought, wow, that's a really good idea. I wish I had thought of that. So throughout the course of this year, I'm actually going to include games I beat for the first time in these pickup videos. So I've got a couple here that I already beat this year. One is Donkey Kong for the Game Boy. And I played this quite a few times in the past. I just never really followed through and concluded the entire thing. So I buckled down, decided to go ahead and do that. And I like it because it kind of reminds me of my favorite Game Boy game, which is Burger Time Deluxe, and that it takes this arcade concept and expands upon it a little bit. And a lot of those old arcade games had these like looping levels where you just play through and the difficulty would just increase each time, which is kind of a downfall for some of those. But these actually have a full conclusion. Every few levels you have to actually defeat Donkey Kong. You play as Mario. It takes elements from the first arcade game as well as Donkey Kong Jr. And then at the end you have this like gauntlet where you face Donkey Kong several times in the end levels, and then it's a pretty satisfying one to beat. It's a little too challenging at times. It can be frustrating, but I actually recommend you play this one. The other one that I beat recently is Pocket Bomberman. So if you don't know, the Bomberman series is my all-time favorite. I love these games, and I am on a mission to actually try to beat every single Bomberman game. I've already taken care of quite a few of them, so this was one I had not yet gotten around to, and it's very different than the other ones in the series. Rather than having this sort of maze-like grid on it, it's actually a platformer. But the same way, you lay bombs, and they spread off in all four directions, and even though it's a strong departure from other ones in the series, this is actually still a lot of fun, and again, I'd recommend checking this out. Next up, I made a trip to my local Goodwill, and things have changed there for the better. It kind of felt like traveling back in time to the good old days where you could just find a ton of stuff at these Goodwills for an affordable price and everything. In more recent years, they seem like they list a lot of the better stuff on eBay, so you never even get the chance to take a look at any of it, and I don't know if they just stopped doing it at this location or what happened, but I found some pretty cool stuff. Ninja Turtles Invasion of the Punk Rock Frogs. So once upon a time I was on a mission to collect all of these Ninja Turtle VHS tapes, but then they started putting things out on DVD and I just stopped. But to find this for a dirt cheap price, and I hadn't seen any of these in a long time. They had a few of them, but the other ones I actually already had. So this was the only one I ended up picking up, but it was exciting to see that. Then I got some DVDs as well. I found this brand new factory sealed Sci-Fi Boys. It's a documentary, focuses very heavily on the work of Ray Harryhausen, who's one of my all-time favorites. Then I found a Trauma movie screenplay. Then I found a Criterion Collection movie, Jules and Jim. I don't know what this is about. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know much about it. Then I found this in the clearance section, Return of the Jedi. So I have all three of these already, but one of them is in like a slim case, and I couldn't remember which one, so I took the chance on it. It turns out this is one I already had in this case. The reason why it was on clearance is it's actually missing one of the discs, but the disc that's still in here is the one that contains the theatrical version, so that's the better of the two discs. I also found several records. I won't bore you with all of them, but there's just a couple here that I thought were sort of neat that I'll share with you. The Wizard of Oz. This is like an old storybook kind of thing. If I like collecting like old children's records and like spoken word ones and kind of stuff like that, sometimes I put my hands on them on my turntable.
Before they knew what was happening.
And then this one was pretty darn cool, a very recent release, the Guardians of the Galaxy Deluxe Edition. So this contains the songs that were in the movie as well as like the original theatrical score. It's a double vinyl. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat, and I went ahead and picked that up. Before we move along, I'm getting a little bit parched, man. I need something to drink. So I got this Warp Zone Pilsner from Surly Brewery. I just popped this into my trusty Midwest Gaming Classic can cozy here. We're gonna give this a try right now. Yeah, that's a Pilsner. Not much to say, but I do love a good Pilsner, and this definitely tastes like a good one, so cheers. What? Did you need something? That's a pretty lazy cameo, Duff. Okay, next, I'm really excited. I picked up some new video games. These are actually imports. I am on a mission to collect all of the Super Nintendo PAL exclusive games, and I got 3 new ones to add to my collection. The first of which is Asterix. So this is a character mainly exclusive to Europe. We did see some games released here in the United States, but most of them didn't make their way over here. These are all complete in the box. They have the manuals. Some of them actually include posters as well. Other than that, I also got both of the Smurfs games. These are all developed by the Infogrames, which is such a weird name for a developer. I was really satisfied with the deal I got on these. I got them bundled together, and a large reason for that being so cheap is one of them actually has some scribbling on it. You can see at first I thought, you remember there were like those Smurfs that got sick and they were a different color? I thought that's what I was looking at there, but then I noticed there were some squiggles on there. So somebody colored that in with a Sharpie. And I thought, you know what, for that price, I'll just deal with that. I'm gonna go ahead and buy these anyway. When I opened up the packaging, unbeknownst to me, the seller actually included a replacement box as well as a second manual in there. So as you can see, this one's a little bit more beat up other than the drawing on it, because this one's a little more crisp. As far as the games, the graphics are really beautiful on these. They're not the most complex thing in the world. In other words, they're not really the greatest games. But like I said, I'm on a mission to collect all of these, so I'm really excited to add these to my collection. And I guess that just about does it for today. Thanks again for watching The Real Bit Wars, and stay tuned. We got some more pickup videos coming your way real soon. What?